What's going on, guys? It's your boy Random Guy Kev, and this is Thoughts of a Random Guy. We talk about many things dealing with love, dating, relationships, adulting, life's ups and downs, and the ever evolving world of just being a human. Don't forget to check me out on all your favorite social media platforms at Random Guy Kev and my website at randomguykev.com. Today's topic is careers versus a job. And my co host for this episode is.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Mark. I work with Lilacs USA, and I'm so happy to be here with my boy Kev. How you doing, bro?
You know, it's another day figuring out if I should be an OnlyFans model or share my feet on Feet Finder or something.
Yes,
Trying to make that quick
yes.
million.
Yes, it's that new the new age job market, right? You know, what did the kids say? Do they still say like another day, another dollar anymore? Or that's like it's too cringe now.
I don't think so. I haven't heard that in a while.
Wow.
I feel like,
Okay.
people talking
All right, my
about
fellow
careers.
kids.
What happened?
I said, okay, my fellow kids. Yeah.
I feel like nowadays, I feel like people no longer really care about careers. It's more of a job that gets them paid.
Yeah.
And however long that lasts, not really looking for a career, something long lasting.
I think
feel
that's yeah.
Careers. I feel like careers are like the traditional thing. You do that, you get raised, you go to school, then you go into your job, and then you find a career in that job, and you make that
Yes.
you transition from a job to a career.
Right. You know, there's a lot of truth behind what you said. I mean, I think like nowadays, let's talk about one of the positives of COVID. I know it's few and far between, but one of the positives that came out of the pandemic is I think a lot of people are refocusing on like what like the job or the career really is, right? You know, with the ability to kind of do your job in a variety of locations, it kind of opens up a lot of different job opportunities that otherwise would have been maybe undoable before. Remote work has kind of changed how we also look at careers in a very different way. I mean, like I paid my dues to the corporate gods many years ago, and you know, to think of that as a career back then made sense, but now with just the advent of just the flexibility and how you can work, I think the traditional idea of like, okay, I'm going to go to school for 4 years or 6 years or 8 years, and then when I come out, that's the field I'm going to work in. I think that's a little bit of old thinking, and I definitely think that there's more credence to what you said. I think like you start working in a segment and then you learn through that like how you want to make either that your career or something within that to build skills to then later on develop a career. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think though, but like, I think there's still value in going to school and then jumping to a job and then finding your career. But the fact that there's so many different degrees that have nothing to do with a career
Yes.
is like, what the hell are we doing? Like, I was watching a video of all these kids going to school for these random ass things, and I'm like, the way I was raised and I was taught, it was like, okay, what's out there? What's out there already? All right, what degree do they need to do their job? Okay, focus on that. Not
Right.
like, what do I want to create? And then create it and go from there. It's like, a lot of these kids, nowadays, they come out with who knows degrees, and they complain that they don't have a job, they can't find a job, they can't find anything in their field, because be realistic. You have to get something that's broader and not like super specialized.
Right. And I also like kind of a little bit hand in glove in that is like, you know, a lot of times a lot of people will go and do something first, right? Do something, and let's say whether it's working in a corporate setting, a business setting, or even like a mechanical setting, like an apprenticeship. They start doing what they need to do, and then they do it in reverse. Then they go to school for it, right? So they already have this idea of like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I already have this a bit of experience through the job, and then through school, then they can open up some more pathways for them to build a career upon the job. What I also find is but what I also find is the reverse in what's happening. It's a lot of people go to school first before they get into their job or their career. And then when you just strike up a conversation with them, hey, what about this? Have you done this? And a lot of times they're, well, no, that's what I'm in school for, right?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people have this idea that, oh, going to school is going to give me the experience, and when I leave school, I'll have it all figured out, you know? And I think that kind of lends itself into what you're saying a little bit.
Crazy thing is, a lot of places be like, you need 5 years of experience and a bachelor's degree.
Yes.
Bitch, I will end you. I just graduated.
Yeah.
Where am I getting 5 years of experience from?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's that joke, right? You know, you need a bachelor degree and then 10 years of work experience, and here you are as an 18-year-old. You know what I mean? You know?
Like, you're nuts.
It's crazy. It is nuts.
And it's like sometimes even for other entry level positions, at one point it was like, hey, you need a master's degree and 15 years of experience. Like, bruh, come on, let's be honest.
Yep.
Let's be honest.
And then they don't count, and they don't count the schooling as experience, right? And so you're like, dude, how is anybody gonna move into these roles? You know, like it does make the traditional, like, okay, I'm a, you know, have a career thing a little harder. I mean, it's the same, I think, like overseas as well. Like, you know, when I was living in Asia, I see a lot of this as well. You know, and I think that's why it just starts, you start to see people kind of diversify and kind of move to a little bit of a different thinking, right? I'm just going to do a job and then move on to the next one, you know?
Do you think people are no longer looking for careers and just getting into something to hold them over? Like, you know, jobs are the trend. Let me get I need money. I need income. Let me jump into a job. Even though, like, I'm going for my, you know, degree, or I'm looking for a career. This is just a job to hold me over.
Right.
And then I think in some cases it's like, that's it. I'm just using this to hold me over and then I'm out of here.
Right. Yeah, I get it. I think yes and no. I think a lot of it. I think a lot of people look at the career path as something that is like, how to put it. People feel like they have so much time investment that you got to put in before you even get to a point where you can say, okay, I feel comfortable here. And I've really sympathized with those people. You know, you put, let's say, 4 years into a marketing degree, and you come out and you work for a company, and then you get in, but then, like, dude, you make more money, let's say, doing, you know, Uber Eats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's terribly discouraging, because you want to do this as your thing and as your career, but then you look at it and you're in it and you work it, and through a year, 2 years, 3 years, you're putting in the effort and nothing, right?
And you start to get stressed out from it.
That's right. And I think a lot of that, you know, turns people off in the career path, and it almost becomes like when people look at it, it's like, ew, I don't want to do that. So much time investment for what return? A little bit of job security that I can probably do better with, let's say, freelancing or doing something else. I think it's great to have a career, and I think having a career is very fulfilling. But at the same time, I think, like, people who are in charge of that kind of career path, they kind of have to rethink of where we are right now in terms of, like, with technology and with people and how fast we're moving as an economy, to kind of think,
I don't think they
about,
are,
okay,
though.
No, they're not. Absolutely not. I think a lot of it is the middle management is very comfortable sitting where they are, and as long as they're being very taken care of and they're comfortable, why have some other young kid move up and take my spot? You know what I mean?
And I feel like COVID has changed a lot of that.
Yes, a lot.
COVID has changed a lot of that, where it's like our traditional jobs, traditional careers where you'll be in the office 9 to 5 on your computer, you know, clocking in and doing all like that. No, that's not a thing anymore. They're trying to force it back on us by a lot of these companies since COVID have been like, hey, you're in the office 5 days out the week. For what? I can still just do the same job from home. And we found that out. So let me work from home sometime. If you don't
Right.
let me work from home, I'm out of here. And a
Yeah.
lot of people left jobs because it just made no sense. A lot of companies are losing employees because why gotta be in the office?
Excuse me. Yeah, I think having I think right now, especially in the U.S., big country like the U.S., you know, having hybrid working, I think is pretty essential right now. I mean, let's be frank. I think a lot of people are able to do it, but at the same time, like it's hard to speak on that because you and I, we are very independent workers. When we say we need to get things done, we'll get things done, right? But I feel like there are some bad apples out there that really ruined it for a lot of people.
And that's
for
what
the
they
work- the
focus
work
on.
from
They
home.
focus on those bad
I know,
apples,
and
like,
it's a terrible thing.
Yep.
It's a travesty for people like yourself that get things done. That you're on the road and it doesn't really matter when work calls. Work calls. You got to do what you got to do, and for those that are disciplined that can do it, I think it's a benefit. To be able to work remote.
what do you feel like? What do you think makes a non-traditional work so attractive to people?
Non-traditional work, what makes it so attractive to people?
Yeah,
I think
when I say non-traditional, like the career,
Right.
the hard career path instead of that.
I think it's attractive because it provides alternative for people, because there is this move. I don't want to say it in a negative light because I'm a man of routine, and I like my routine. But there's a movement of routine based work that seems monotonous to a lot of especially younger people, right? The wake up 9 to 5, I do my job, this is what I do. And I think a lot of people are disinterested in that because I think there's not a lot of dynamism in that. So
Okay.
with non-traditional work, I think it's attractive because a lot of people now have kind of refocused as well as like, okay, what's more important to me is being able to experience life more important, or to make a ton of money. And I think a lot of people nowadays, younger generation, they want the more experiential kind of wealth instead of physical wealth. I think that's a good thing. Like, it's good that you want that. Money doesn't dictate everything. It's good to have it, but I would rather do something that I like, that's a little bit different, that may pay a little bit less, but I have my heart and soul and my passion in it. And that, I think that's very admirable. And I think with, again, going back to COVID, it's kind of opened the door for a lot more non-traditional types of work. You see people doing things like, auto detailing and then filming it and also putting it on social media at the same time, right? People who love cars, they love doing that. It's a great eye catcher because who doesn't like nice cars? And you get to work on nice cars and you get to get paid at the same time, right? So I think like social media and that COVID era has kind of really opened people's minds to be able to see like, oh, I can actually do these different things, and I can do it and enjoy it, and I can actually make money from it. As long as you're stick with it, of course.
Yeah, I think I think what plays into the career and job thing is happiness. Like, how do you
Yes.
feel at that place? Like, if do you feel? Yes, you got your degree, you got your doctorate or whatever. Are you happy doing this? Are you happy
Yeah.
doing whatever you're doing? And some people aren't happy.
No,
If you're not happy,
that's
I
right.
get it. I understand the change.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's very important. Like your emotional well-being, your mental well-being is very important. And a lot of times these things change over time. These things change over time too. Like what makes me happy is being able to provide for my family. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
do I have a great job that's fun and dynamic? Yes. But sometimes it's also, sitting and looking at spreadsheets too. Like, I have the boring side of my job as well. But at the end of the day, I feel joy and fulfillment out of that because I get the dopamine hit of seeing my family being taken care of, being able to provide for my family. And that kind of helped me kind of refocus and kind of look at it from a different light, But you're absolutely right. Find what is the factor that drives your happiness and what you're doing. And when you find that, either it's going to make your career feel so much better, or you're going to be able to kind of look for that one thing to then really put yourself into it.
But the other thing is, when you go looking for a home, you need stability. So,
Yes, absolutely.
Like the banks want to know, hey, you got a stable income coming in? All right, let's see your last 6 paychecks. Let's see what they looking like.
Yep.
And it's like, and now you got to buckle down. Do I stick at this job it's kind of temporary, or do I get into a career, wait 6 months and see how it goes and go from there? Again, it's like sometimes you got to sacrifice.
Yes.
Make a sacrifice for your happiness, for stability, but at the same time, you still got to look at your happiness and your mindful, like your mental well-being, before like locking into a spot. And I tell people that a lot. Like the company I've been out now is like 6 years now. Prior to this, I was consulting. I was every 3 months, every 6 months, I was at a different company helping them out IT related issues and moving from there project by project. I loved it, but then I realized I was like, I'm trying to buy a house. I'm trying to find get some stability where I can I guess it's not necessarily a 9 to 5. I'm in IT, so I kind of work random hours, but still, it's like I have stability here. I'm happy here. This place is making me feel good. And then it's like, all right, now I can get a house. I feel comfortable enough. I feel stable enough to get a house because I'm in this career. And when I was consulting, I worked for a consulting company. I didn't see it as a career. I saw it as a job, because I got to move around. Hey, if I didn't like this product, I'd be like, yo, assign me somewhere else. I'm out of here. I don't like these people. Keep it moving.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Not everybody has that. Not everybody has that blessing. I enjoyed the flexibility of not being locked in somewhere, and I could move around independently as much as I wanted. And it was a good time, and I thought and there's always a downside to these type of things where you're comfortable somewhere, but you're allowed to move constantly. It's just, again, my main thing that came to me first was, I want to buy a house, and the first thing the bank asked me, like, hey, what's your job? Let me get your last 6 pay stubs. Oh, you're a consultant. Is this stable? Like, bitch, it's paying me. What's that got to do with you?
Right. But I think you said something that's very important there. I mean, you said you wanted to buy a house. I mean, your eyes were on the prize. I mean, you had a goal, you had a target, you had a focus. Yeah. And I feel and it kind of goes back to, I think, a lot of people that maybe you and I also interact with. Great people, but you can hear it that they kind of like, well, they don't really have that focus, right? Great people, but I feel like they're looking at so many things. They don't have that one thing that's locked in. And I think that's very important. And I think that's where maybe the career side comes in a little bit, is, okay, are you willing to sacrifice a little bit to get into this career, to have this end goal? Yours was getting a house, right?
Yeah.
What is the focus is going to make the sacrifice that's going to make okay, I got to put money aside, I got to be stable, okay, maybe I defer some more attractive opportunities and options to a later time. Not saying never, right? I think a lot of people have this idea of like, oh, chasing your dreams, it's either I do it or I don't type deal. No, I mean, dude, it's not like you do or don't. I mean, you can. It's just, let's figure out a few things first. Let's have a target. Let's have a goal. Set the goal. Work towards it. And once you get there, no one's asking you to give up on other things, right? You can still try to go and find non-traditional work that's attractive. You can still go and find other opportunities. You can still try to build a side gig, and you never know, that may be able to take over the main gig at a later time. You know.
And that's the thing. It's you gotta be. I feel like us having so much access to each other via the internet and social media, and people always posting their traditional jobs versus their non-traditional jobs and their side hustles and this, and you just sitting there thinking like, man, I could do that too. I could be I don't got to do this. I could do that and make some money and do. And we have so many options.
Yes.
So it gets people to thinking like, do I necessarily need to do this? And and I mean, we all talk. So I mean, sometimes we all talk about our careers and what we're doing. And it's like, do I like it? Do I not like it? It's just those type of things. What do you think? The downsides of a career is like
the downsides of a career. I think the biggest downside of having a career is you can very easily get like completely locked into it. You know what I mean? Like your mind, your thoughts, everything. It could so easily lock your whole being and identity into this. And I've met a billion people that are like that, very career minded, living out in Asia, very career minded, but that just becomes their identity. You know what I mean? Work becomes their identity. And I think that to me is, I think, one of the biggest downsides of like having like if we're just focusing on just having a career, right? Your career becomes your everything. Where they, don't spend time with friends, or don't spend time with friends that are not related to work. Maybe they don't spend a lot of time with family. That's all they really think about. They're stressing themselves out over it. Sometimes I feel like having a career, a lot of times, unless you're able to manage it well, it's very taxing on your mental load, and also on your physical load. I've been there. I've been grossly overweight because it's stressing me out. I've been there, and I think that's one of the downsides of having a career. I think a lot of people, especially men, don't really talk about, because we want to toughen up, buttercup. Somebody got to make this money,
be the
right?
Provider.
Somebody got to make this money, and and in Asia we see this in spades. This is doubly as bad in Asia, because everybody's like comparing yourself to someone else. And then your family does it too,
Yeah.
Why can't you be like cousin so and so? He's a doctor.
Yeah. I mean, the downside. I agree with your downside of of a career path. I mean, it's just it does become overwhelming. You get locked in because you want to reach that next level in your career, and you don't think about those around you. You don't think about yourself sometimes. You just keep going, pushing forward. When it comes to a job, what do you think are the downsides for that?
For a job, I think the job, I think it's just for a job. I think a lot of times the downside for a job is people look at it as just a job. You know what I mean?
Your mindset is just like, oh, this is just a job.
This is just temporary. I'm gonna just, oh, you're just paying me this much? Well, then you're just gonna get this much out of me.
Word.
I mean, I get it. I get the sentiment, but that's also a sentiment that holds people back. I think it's like, it's a coping mechanism for a lot of people that are like, oh, well, I'm only getting paid X amount per hour, so you're just gonna get this much. I mean, I think that's not a positive mindset to have. I mean, of course, don't go like bending yourself backwards for a bunch of silliness. I get it. I mean, to each there's a happy medium here, but like. To look at it to say, well, it's just a job, man, and I think that holds a lot of people back, and looking at it as just a temporary thing holds a lot of people back. And I think like we see a lot of dip in quality because a lot of people have that kind of mentality, and I think that's the biggest biggest disadvantage of just looking at things as just a job. You know what I mean?
Yep. I think
it's almost dismissive.
I feel like the traditional career path has disappeared a little bit. And I say that because I feel like, again, you see all these people doing streaming and YouTube and Twitch and non-traditional like jobs, careers where it's just like, hey, I want to start my own business. I just want to do knitting or something like that. It's like, odd things that are becoming. Yeah. I would consider that their careers, but if you think about it, like 10 years ago, like this can't be a career.
No,
this can't. This shouldn't be a career. This is a job. This is like regular. This is regular like fun hobby stuff. Mm-hmm. But people transitioned it into a job, then a career, and that's why I feel like that traditional career path is no longer a thing, because you can, like I said earlier, you can make a job a career at some point, but it's, you didn't go through that traditional route of, going to school for it, doing this, doing XYZ. Then you're getting to the company that you want to be at, doing what you wanted to do, and climbing the corporate ladder and all this other crap.
Yeah. I think like with what you're saying, it's definitely, I think, blurred the lines a little bit in terms of like what a career path would look like. I think what the biggest thing is when you think about like the traditional career path is, I think a lot of people have an opportunity to see the difference now, with the advent of social media and the internet. You can see what a dynamic career looks like, and you can see what a stale career looks like. And I think because of that, a lot of people can oftentimes, I feel, get a little discouraged with what they're doing. I mean, if let's say, I'm looking at my friend so-and-so, and he's in a company that's moving, it's moving, it's shaking things up, he's going places. And then I look at myself and I'm like, well, what am I doing? Right. And I'm not saying this is an actual real world, like, example. Like, I just feel like there's so much more visibility in terms of this now. In addition, I feel like when people make the right decisions, let's say your management is making the right decisions to letting the talent work, you're seeing that increase, that explosive, increase in certain careers that people get hooked onto. And then you see on the other side, like, it goes back to what we were saying. Some people just middle management just sits up there and they just don't do anything. And it's kind of caused a lot of people to have this, this rift between like, well, is this viable for me? Is this something I really want to do or not?
Yeah.
And of course, exactly what you said too. People doing knitting now. You can knit. You can.
Yeah, people buy. You can turn that into a business. People buy it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And so I think like, there's a lot more. I think there's a lot more variables out there that has caused like this emergent phenomenon of like thinking about like, okay, what path do I take? Suddenly there's so many paths, and then a lot of these paths are like kind of like there's no real clear path, right? And so I think it's changed a lot, but then again, the more has changed, the more things stay the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel, yeah. I think a lot more paths have been created, and it's like career versus job, or like, do those definitions change as well?
Yeah.
Because of what's been coming out with technology and people creating new things, like, do those still hold weight? Or should we have new definitions for them of what's considered careers and a job?
I think with the advent of new technology, I think what you're going to see is you're going to see one of two things. One, you're going to have like, let's say, just very job people, right? Low skill labor and jobs and stuff like that. Those type of jobs, I think you're going to see a lot of that phase out. But that's going to provide an incredible opportunity for people who want to better themselves to be, let's say, high skill labor, high skill manufacturing, right? Technology-based manufacturing. There's going to be an incredible boom, I think, with this opportunity. So I think every generation, every cycle goes through the same thing, right? We went from just carving to the production line to now more automation, but then you need people to service the automation. And so I think in a way this drives things to better themselves over time. If you have the gumption to seize the moment, I think we're in an upward swing right now that can be very good for a lot of people. And I think as long as we're malleable and we're flexible in how we think and how we work with technology, I think it's going to create way more opportunities than take away opportunities. And with and again, going back to this upward swing of moving into automation, if we apply ourselves, we're also going to be able to, even doing jobs, we're going to be able to access markets that would have maybe not have been there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, I mean, the role of technology, I feel like it has taken a lot of opportunities away from people and creators. So like, you could think of like, illustrators, painters, people that do comics and stuff, like people that do like digital, like artwork in a sense, any type of thing like that, median like that. I feel like technology has kind of removed their jobs. It's not like really I mean, some people didn't even think those were careers personally, like archaeology, like a painter, like you want to do magazines, things like that. People, in some cases people don't consider those careers. I mean, they might be old school careers, but at one point they were careers, and then technology got better and it started. We damn near got AI. It's about to be the Matrix.
Yeah. I don't want to be a battery. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, that's really it. That's why I said anytime I talk to Chat GPT, I'm like, please and thank you, because they're gonna remember that. They gonna remember. Kevin was the one that said please and thank you every time he asked me for something. Listen,
Kevin,
it gets you,
Kevin
and it gets you better results. I'm just throwing it out there. But again, a lot of companies are switching to those extra caveats where it's like, hey, I can plug this into my company and eliminate these jobs, these careers. These used to be careers. Yeah. We don't need this person anymore. We got the AI bot to do that.
Right.
And kind of go from there. So it's like, technology, it's moving, and you kind of gotta move with it.
Yep. That's absolutely true. I mean, like, I think we're moving into a position where I think, like, if you're able to move with technology and complement it, you will see an incredible gain in career opportunity or even job opportunities. I mean, like, think about this. Amazon fired I hate to use the word fired, but Amazon let go of how many thousands of people,
like because
they're gonna go into full AI for their customer service. But at the same time, right, that's only their kind of like phone telecommunications customer service people. The people who are going to stay and still work in customer service, you're going to, if you're able to work with the AI and work with people and move along with that and use AI as a tool, you're going to see incredible gains in that market for people, for the human side, right? Yep. Because people are going to have a demand to be like, man, I don't want to talk to a machine, and the person behind that is able to then train the machine to be better. So the human touch is always going to be needed. And I think going into things like, SEO, e-commerce, anything data driven, you're starting to have competing AIs against each other. And we know, like, people like Google are going to be like, hey, we're going to downrank your article or your website because we know it's AI generated, because we want you to use our AI. They play games like this, right?
Yeah.
So I think like there's always going to have room for the human element as long as we're able to do exactly what you said. If we can move with the technology, dude, there's going to be incredible opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. As we come to the end of this episode, what do you want to leave people with in regards to careers versus jobs?
I would say you would hit the nail on the head, Kevin. I mean, have a goal, right? Your goal is to get a house. I think career or job, have a goal for yourself and start with getting a job. Heck, start with getting different jobs. You never know. You never know what that's going to lead you into. I am turning 39 this year. If I pause and turn and look back, I didn't know where my work life was going to lead me. So you never know. If opportunity comes, take it, and you may be able to find yourself doing something that can turn into a career.
Yeah, I mean, that's really it. Keep your head up. Don't get depressed. Stay focused. Things will get better, and
things will.
That's it. But that's it for this episode. You guys can find me on all social media platforms at Random Guy Kev and my website at randomguykev.com. Don't forget to check in, and I will catch you guys on the next one.